in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good night, everyone, and get ready because it's time for the late chip at the video store.
Mike, we're backstage, hearing the best theme song ever, still in my opinion. I'll never ever get sick of it. But I'm like, okay, gather around. I'm like, nope, wrong show. I'm like, who am I today? Like, what are we doing? So my saying is, hey, hello, hi. That's the one. That's the one we're doing today.
Yeah.
Hey, hello, hi. Welcome everyone to Late Shift at the Video Store. Hope everyone is having a great evening, a great morning. If you are on this side of the equator in the southern hemisphere, or no, timeline. We're doing timelines. Mike, it's early and I'm tired. It was a big night last night. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
That's all you're gonna give me. That's all you're gonna give me.
Nothing is. I don't do anything. I don't have exciting times.
I've said many, many more words than you have already this morning. You cannot just come in with it and cool.
Yes, I can. I am the co-host.
Only because it is you, you may. If you are in our chat, let us know that you're here. It is a lovely Friday night.
Yeah.
We are just till Fridays. Friday night, Saturday morning, and we have an amazing topic. We have such an open-ended topic today, which is what I really love to see. People coming on and giving their own spins of it all. We haven't done a lot of like personally favoritey sort of stuff in a little while. So that's what I'm excited for, is just really something that is hitting you as the viewer. And we haven't done a lot of we've done a lot of stories lately, but not a lot of like what are actually good scenes from movies. What is actual movie magic moment, which brings us to our topic today. What is your favorite scene in a movie? Hi, hello, hey. I'm happy to kick it off.
Yep.
When you brought this topic to me, it's so open-ended. So I just went with gut instinct, brain instinct. What was the first thing that came to my mind? Shocking, just not one person that is going to watch this. I'm going to pick something Disney. But what was shocking to me, what was shocking to me was what actually did come to my mind, because it's not one that I would really ever consider. It's not that bad, Mike. Well, what came to my mind was not usually one that I would associate with anything that I really like. I'm very known for probably like Alice or Sword and Stone, or the Renaissance, growing up in the time of being the Renaissance sort of thing. So something from, say, Lion King or Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast would be sort of things. I'm going to take it back all the way to 1940, where I think real movie magic happened. And that's the Sorcerer Apprentice moment from Fantasia. Even more specifically, it's a bit of a cop-out to take the whole, I think it's like a good 8 to 12 minutes, somewhere in that range, of being that one scene. So I would take the moment where Mickey Mouse is already like had the brooms come to life and they're following him and they're doing the work, where he falls asleep in the chair, starting to do this, and it transports him in his dream to on top of a mountainscape. And it's this beautiful, dark skyline with all these stars in it. And he's actually doing magic where he's pointing out, and sparks and starlight are shooting out everywhere. And I think we don't get a lot of actual Mickey Mouse in our traditional 61 and Walt Disney Studio animated films. Like there's not very much. So to have this be such an absolutely iconic moment, where I remember visiting Disneyland as a child and hugging Sorcerer Apprentice Mickey, I think this is the moment that solidifies it for me. And I'm always someone that loves, I don't know whether it's like the Sailor Moon's been bred into me from a child, but I love anything with the moon and the stars and that cosmic feel to it. And when you tie that in with magic and Mickey Mouse in that awesome robe and hat and everything, and the music that is swelling around us, I think it is movie magic. Mike, do you remember seeing this for the first time? Do you remember coming across this one? And what are your thoughts on this scene from Fantasia?
Oh yeah, I first watched it as a small lad. You know, between watching The Fang and Goodfellas and shit, I watched these cartoons as well. So I did watch this as well, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fucking great. It was really fun, very sweet, and I love the fucking music behind it.
Yeah. If you were going to pick an alternate Disney scene, are there any other Disney ones that you would say is like your favorite scene in a specific Disney movie?
In a specific Disney movie, Lion King for sure comes up with. I got to do the Hakuna Matata, the entire sequence of that.
Oh,
I love it. It's very sweet, and it has a great message behind it. Aladdin and the Whole New World sequence in general, I absolutely love. That one I put on randomly and just watch. Such a sweet
them flowing through the clouds and everything is so iconic. When you said Lion King, I definitely think of like anything of like probably more the ending scene of them on Pride Rock and like the clouds parting and all that. I think that, or the beginning with the Circle of Life and that big zoom is shot to all the lions on Pride Rock and Rafiki holding up Simba. I think that's cool, big one. And then for Aladdin, I think it's him picking up the lamp. Like, and again, it must be something about that dark colors that I just really am drawn to. When it's him in the Cave of Wonders going up the little stones and then stepping into the light and picking up the lamp, like, oh, it gives you the chills. So those are my picks. If you want to come on our show, hit the link in our chat. Come on and give us what is your favorite scene. You can most definitely tell that I wrote this this banner here because there's a you in there. Usually I try and shorten it to fave so I don't feel so pointed out for my criticisms. But if not, just jump in our chat and let us know. Mike, what are some of your favorite scenes that stand out to you?
Oh yeah, I gotta bring up the big one because I have to. It's one that changed my life forever, and it still does to this day. I still get fucking chills every time, even just listening to the music. I get fucking chills to it. It's Jurassic Park, and it's right when they arrive on the island, and they fucking pull up, and it just gives them the shock face that they're mean to fucking death. They're all looking out, and then you just show it. You just show the fucking Brachiosaurus moving up. The camera moves up with it. The music fucking hits. Everything is perfection in that scene. It brings all the fucking feelings towards it, all the awe-inspiring of seeing the dinosaur the very first time. Because other than that, the only thing you had seen at that point is the eyes of the Velociraptor. Barely anything. But this is a full shot of the first dinosaur. It looked fucking great, and all the reactions are perfect, and everything up into that of John Hammond talking about how they have a T-Rex, and fucking Ian Malcolm going, the son of a bitch actually did it. Everything is perfect. I absolutely love it every time.
And seeing this one for the first time, it really, those dinosaurs do look so realistic, and especially like for the 90s and never really seeing much like that. Like, so before seeing Jurassic Park, what was your sort of exposure to dinosaurs and things like that?
To dinosaurs, would probably, it would probably be the original Lost World.
Yeah.
Like,
see, I'm coming in with like Land Before Time, so like that's a big
Land Before Time.
upgrade.
I thought you were meaning like live action.
Yeah, that's why I have no other live action. Like all I've got Land Before Time.
Animation, Land Before Time for sure.
When you replay Jurassic Park, is this still the one that when it's coming up, like you know that it's starting to happen, and like you get the chills and you get really excited for this thing to happen?
Time. It's the scene that will always hit me the same way every single time I watch it.
Is there any other Spielberg film that does the same reaction for you? What are some of your other favorite scenes from a Spielberg film?
From Spielberg, Jaws would definitely be when little boy gets taken out. Like, it's just the camera work, everything of just zoning in on the fucking shark overtaking him and it going under. It's so shocking and so out of nowhere. that you don't expect a child to get taken out with it, but he does, and it's so freaky, and it has the right amount of blood, but not too much. It doesn't show everything; it just shows the random of him being pulled over and then him being pulled under, and then just the shock of everyone. And you just see Chief Brody knowing that the man hates fucking water. He refuses to get in that fucking water, even in that scene. You just see him going, "Everyone get out! Everyone get out!" He does not touch the fucking water whatsoever. He lets everyone else do the fucking work. And then E.T. is definitely when E.T. dies. That hits me.
See, again, we're thinking, when you say the movie, we're thinking different things, which is just great, because that just shows you like different scenes hit different people. Because I'm definitely going with what's behind you in the poster, the little statue I gave you, like the flight on the bicycles. Oh god, I pick the most basic bitch picks every time. You're like, this one, because it gives me feelings, there's gravitas, there's stakes, and I'm like, yeah, that one from the poster.
No, that scene is also, the music is perfect in that scene.
It's the music that gets me for that one. I'm not the biggest fan of E.T., but when you watch that scene, like, it's really undeniably a bit of a childhood moment classic come to life, because don't you wish that you could fly as well? I'm going to go on the line with childhood, because my other pick, again, a bit of a basic choice, but it's one I think a lot of people can relate to. Shut up, Mike. When we went and saw Barbie yesterday, we had the trailer for Wonka before it. And so it just gives me the cravings, fruit, chocolate pun, somewhat intended, to watch the original Willy Wonka again, because that scene, you talked about like the scene of seeing dinosaurs for the first time, the scene when they walk through the doors and see the chocolate room, like the pure imagination scene, is still something to this day like I wish was real. And I love it because it's not just children that enjoy it, it's the parents and adults as well. Gene Wilder's amazingly just borderline creepy, but pure singing at the same time is great. Going around and seeing, exploring what can you taste, what can you eat, all the different flavors. The big gummy bears look great. That mushroom with the little cream that you pull out. What would you eat from the chocolate room in Willy Wonka?
I would have to go with the strain.
I was going to say, is it the waterfall? Are you just head first in that waterfall?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have to.
And the other one I love is that at the end, when he sits down, he has like the little daffodil or buttercup like tea, and then just like takes a bite into it. Possibly maybe try to eat real flowers to emulate that as a child, but that's a story for another day. Mike, I've got a question, and I'll give you some time to think about it, because I have thrown you a few questions on the spot today already. Already you and I have picked things from 40s to 70s, and then only one pick from like the 90s. Like, we've picked a lot of older things, a lot of childhood memories, a lot of things that are ingrained. Is there anything in the last, say, from 2010 onwards that would be your favorite scene? I would call that recent. I'm letting myself have that. That is recent movies. What have you loved from recent movies? Because I was thinking today, before I put on my Spider-Gwen, how much I loved from Into the Spider-Verse, and sitting in the theater and seeing that scene where he jumps off and falls from the sky again with the moon in the background. That is just my thing. That is my aesthetic, it seems to be. When he's upside down, when it shows him falling and the rest of the world's upside down, and just that is what I would love to have like on a poster as a piece of art. So scenes, because like you've got posters, I've got posters that are just the movie posters. That is something that is something that you could have as a piece of art on your wall. That would be great, and is a great scene from a recent movie, and is fantastic. Yes, Alan, with the Army of Darkness. Please tell me Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness.
Okay. I'm not going to get yelled at later. Yes, because the only reason, again, I know that is because after I watched that movie, all Alan's actual dialogue that he uses in his life is from that movie. So when I thought he was being original, he's just been Bruce Campbell the whole time. Is there anything from 2010s onwards that really sticks with you as something that's like, oh, this was a great new moment in cinema?
Oh yeah, I could go with a very easy choice with Swiss Army Man, but I ain't gonna go there because we've already brought up Jurassic Park. So I will go with This Is the End. The entire sequence of Emma Watson and what transpires with them talking right outside the room about the elephant in the room and shit like that, the jokes that happen, and then it's perfectly encompasses everything that you have with these characters. They're a bunch of fucking morons because they're all talking about something that they don't want to do, but she overhears it as they want to do it, so she comes out, gets freaked out, and basically steals all their shit and leaves the fucking house. And then you have Danny McBride just going, Hermione just stole all our shit. It's so fucking great. It's so fantastic, and it just takes the entire movie and puts in that one scene who all these characters are, which are a bunch of morons that are stuck in a house together, that they can't think straight, that they can't do anything straight. The Wolves End, I would also bring up with the main, when you finally figure out that they're actually robots, a fight in the bathroom. And you have Simon Pegg and everything like that just battling in the bathroom with these robots, and them taking out all the kids in the fucking bathroom is just fantastic. Like the blue blood, I guess you would call it, whatever you would call that. Like everything in that is just fucking great.
There are really great fight scenes in the Cornetto trilogy. Like, obviously, I love the "Don't Stop Me Now" scene from Shaun of the Dead.
Oh yeah,
that's great. Or even just like when they're flinging the records. I love that's great. For comedies, another one I had thinking again, like from way back, but Holy Grail being one of my all-time most favorite movies, and how that really is a movie threaded through with individual scenes, individual moments. So even I was trying to think, if I was going to bring that up today, which one am I putting forth as like my favorite scene from that movie? And it's so hard. I'm still in two minds. So I'm hoping if I'm going to say one, you might say my other favorite one. I think the quotes I use more in my life that would make it my favorite is the one with King Arthur and the peasants, where it just starts with like, "Old man, I'm not old, I'm 37. Well, I didn't know you were that man. Well, you didn't know, my name is Dennis. Well, I didn't know your name was Dennis. Well, then I asked you. And being able to grow up and understand that humor, because I've grown up through with Holy Grail, and I find like as I age, all my favorite scenes change as I understand the humor a bit more. So like as a child, I love the Black Knight and None Shall Pass, and it's only a flesh wound, and the chopping of the limbs, and because it's something very childlike and whimsy, like it's very blatant type of humor. And then I loved the scene with the witch with like another phrase I didn't think would come into my life so much is a duck. But she turned me into a newt. I got better. I liked that one, and now it's onto the peasants one, and the other one is of course Tim the Enchanter at the end there. So that's hard. That's a hard one to pick a favorite scene from a particular movie. Do you have the same? Is it Jurassic Park or Jaws, where like it's hard to just nail it down to one defining moment of a movie?
Well, Jurassic Park is easier because of the fact that certain scenes of that movie changed how I saw movies forever. Like Jaws is a lot harder to knock down a simpler scene. E.T. is also harder because there's so many moments. Monty Python, the Holy Grail, the ending scene, I always love when you find out that it's all bullshit and they just play all the time. It's fucking fantastic. I die every time because it's so stupid. The fucking cops show up and just start arresting everybody, and you just realize what the hell's been going on the entire time.
That's if you were smart enough to realize, which took me a really long time, because as a child I thought it was just like I didn't get it. It's just like the cops showed up and I didn't get what they were actually trying to say with it all. Or even just those moments in between the film where it's got like the guy who's making his report and they come through and like I did not understand that. I just thought it was like random for the sake of it. And then I'm like, oh, that. Mike, I definitely thought when I asked for something recent, because we've talked about Jurassic Park, that you might give us something from The Fabelmans, because that's another one you've said has sort of, you just said about Jurassic Park changing the way you see movies. The Fabelmans definitely a love letter to movies. What is something from that stands out to you?
Oh, The Fabelmans has got to be the when he shows the film at the end.
Yes.
And it's not that sequence of him showing the film, it's the after of the bully coming up to him and going, "Why did you make me the hero? Like, I treated you like fucking shit this entire time. Why did you like show me as this badass guy?" And it's just showing, like, it shows so much emotion, and it shows that it gives Sammy the three-dimensional character that you needed from him, is that he has it all. He's like a fully fleshed out character throughout that. Even though this guy has treated him like shit, he's showing it through his eyes what a movie it is, and that guy is the fucking hero of that entire, I guess you would call it it was the senior ditch day, so he's a hero of the senior ditch day. That's what, because during the whole thing you see him winning everything, you see him doing, so yeah, he is technically the hero of that sequence. So that's what Sammy sees, and he uses that in his movie. And then of course the other dickhead, he makes him look like a fool, which is even more hilarious.
Yeah, using the power of being able to point the camera in the direction, being able to control the narrative is great. Is there anything where you've gone to the movies and you've sat there and you are really cognizant, because sometimes like we love going to the theater and getting lost in the movie, but has there ever been times where you're sitting there and you're like, wow, this is saying something to me, or like this is a great scene that like is so good it almost takes you out of it to be able to appreciate it in the moment? Because I've only had that happen to me very few times. Once when I saw Whiplash at the end of the film, when he's doing the drumming on stage, and it's like this close up of Miles Teller breathing, like I could feel my heart, and I'm like, oh, I love this. This scene right here is what's happening to me. That whole big breakdown ending of, is it Caravan? I think it's Caravan. That drumming sequence with the back and forth with him and J.K. Simmons. And then the other time is Inside Out. I talked about it briefly on Movies of My Life, but the Inside Out scene with Riley showing the memories of her talking with mum and dad after she loses the hockey game, and sadness and joy both watching it together, and joy realizing that you need sadness. Sadness makes mum and dad know that I'm not okay. Scenes sitting there in the theater going, oh wow, this is really transcending the experience for me. Have you ever had that happen to you?
Yeah, Hateful Eight was a big one when I went to see the Roadshow edition in the Cinerama Dome in LA, which is, if no one knows, it's basically the entire half of the theater is the screen. Like, it surrounds half. It's fucking huge, so you see it all. And it was the exact scene, and it was at the very beginning, and it's when I knew that this man is just stealing the entire movie from everyone else. It's Walton Goggins when he is seeing Samuel Jackson, Kurt Russell in the fucking stagecoach, and he goes, "Oh, you guys gonna make snow angels?" And I'm like, yeah, this man's stealing the fucking movie from everyone. It's so fucking stupid, and it's just so great. It's just that small moment. Then everything throughout, I just focused on him throughout my first showing of the movie. Like, you would think I'd focus on Kurt Russell, but I did not. I focused on Walton Goggins in the background, because when Kurt Russell ends up choking and dying from the water, whatever, I forgot exactly what they were drinking, tea or water. You see Walton Goggins just throw the fucking thing away. The moment he sees him choking, he knows what exactly happened. He just chucks it in the background. And Midsummer, the scene in general that got me in the theater that I'm watching something special is a wisdom tree scene with eyebrows pissing on it, and he's pissing on the wisdom tree. And the reaction of everyone, but even in the theater, everyone's fucking dying, cracking up, because he's being fucking scolded for taking a piss on a tree that he thinks is just a random tree, and everything that happens with that.
We have our first guest.
Yeah.
Bring him up, please. Hi, Kaiser.
Hello.
How are you doing tonight? Oh, today, it's you in the same time as me. How are you doing this morning? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Okay. Kaiser, what's your favorite scene in the movie?
So yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this movie is not. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, right. So yeah, this movie is not necessarily like my favorite movie of all time. I have many issues with the movie. Actually, but am I hearing like a feedback?
You're all good.
Yeah, you're good.
We can hear you fine. Tell us
All right.
why it's not your favorite movie, but favorite scene in the movie.
Okay, I'll get to the point. The movie is Jurassic Park.
Yes. Oh, we will come back to
I
that.
didn't kick him out for saying there were problems with the movie. That was not me. He did it himself.
It definitely was, Mike. Jurassic Park's not a great movie. Bam.
Yeah.
Ejected from the video store. Mike, we have someone else waiting backstage, but they don't have their video on. There we go.
Yeah.
Bring them on,
You got
please.
Jack.
We got Jack stealing Payson's bit. Let's go.
Yeah. Hi. How you doing?
We're doing good, sweetheart. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing quite well. I dropped my brother off at like a practice, so I'm able to be here, just not at home. I'm just parked in a car right now. So yeah, that's where I am.
Good. What's going to be my next question? Are we parked? Are we safe? And then give us your favorite scene in the movie.
All right. So, favorite scene in the movie. I have been going back and forth on this for a while now, and it's been here's the thing. My favorite movie of all time, it depends on the day. Some days it's Return of the King, some days it's a completely different thing. It's Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Today I'm feeling like Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and so my favorite scene absolutely has to be that final scene at the opera or concert, whatever it is. That single long take that slowly zooms in on Eloise. So for those of you that haven't seen the movie, it's a romance between these two women in like 17th century France or 16th century. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. It's been a minute, but and they have to part because they obviously can't be together at this time, and it's a very short-lived, brief romance, but it's one that impacts both of them for the rest of their lives. The one girl, Marianne, comes across Eloise one last time at this opera, I want to say, and it's she's across the balcony. She sees her from afar, and the last line of the movie is, I saw her one last time. She didn't see me. And then the Vivaldi piece, Summer, I can't remember what it's called fully, but that piece starts playing, and my eyes just start watering. Immediate waterworks every time. The camera slowly zooms in on Adele Hanel's face, and just everything that we've experience through this movie just comes to the forefront, and it's just raw emotion. I cannot watch this scene without crying. It's beautiful and perfect. I love this scene so much.
Oh, this is such a good scene and a beautiful description of it, Jack. And I think so as well. It's something about just that where you said the scene, all I'm picturing is that slow close up and the tears welling, and being able to feel the music through the character, which is sometimes really hard to do on film. And I think it comes across really well here. Mike, what do you think about this scene?
Oh yeah, I think the scene is great, and the music, like Joey brought up, is perfect for the scene. The music fucking works so well with it, and yeah, the emotions definitely hit for sure.
Jack, thank you for giving us your time tonight, sweetheart.
Thank you so
Jack.
much for having me. You have a good one.
You too.
You too. Okay, he is back to tell us about
Man is
Jurassic
back.
Park. Let's do it.
Okay. So what happened just now was I had the YouTube open on another browser, and then it was saying stuff back to me that I don't know at like a 3-second delay. I was like, what the
Have
All
done
right.
that before, my friend. Tell us about Jurassic Park.
Okay, so yeah, Jurassic Park. I have issues with the movie, but I'm not here to talk about that movie. I'm here to talk about the scene, and I think you'll know which scene is. is the scene where I first introduced to the whole Jurassic Park. Yep. So I think that scene works partially because number one, obviously the music is great, and number two, is something that I had never actually seen before, even when I first watched it in like 2003. That shows that it's a very groundbreaking movie. But the most important thing about that scene is the whole movie is about why you shouldn't have dinosaurs, why you shouldn't replicate their DNA. But that one scene just shows you why people want to do it, because it means so much to them, because it brings us so much wonderment. Yeah, so I think it's probably the most effective scene that I've seen in a whole movie, and that's why I kind of love it, despite my issues with the movie.
Great choice. Mike, what do you think about this choice?
Well, you know, I could bring up a lot about it, but I will say that it is a perfect scene. I love the scene to death, and yeah, it's a great pick.
I think the points you make about why humans shouldn't do it, but this is why, is really a great point to make, because it does bring so much joy and bringing the history back to life and doing things that we as humans like to do things that haven't been done before. So being able to see it happen and just how realistic they were able to make it look on film, that it really, you are in the shoes of the people seeing it on screen. So being able to have that character insert moment for audience insert moment through the characters, definitely. And the score, the theme to Jurassic Park will forever and ever live on, and it is because it encaptures this moment here. So Kaiser, this is a great pick, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving us your time today.
Thank you, Kaiser.
Bye-bye.
Love our little late entries to the video store.
Yeah.
Very good. Mike, we've talked about a few different genres of film today, but one we have not touched on that we have been, I was going to say forcibly, but we have been enjoying watching a lot recently, is musicals. Are there any musical moments in a film that is your favorite?
Musical moments in a musical. Okay.
Musicals.
Yeah.
So, like, you got to go with.
Yeah, I got. Do what?
Okay.
I got it.
No, give me my basic bitch pick first. Gene Kelly singing in the rain. Give it to me. Let me have it. Let me have it first. It is Gene Kelly singing in the rain, doing his dance in the rain when we know he had like pneumonia or like the flu or something like that, and still being able to bust it out. Because again, I've used the word a few times tonight and I don't care. It is iconic. The choreography he's able to pull off in the rain, when we saw it emulated on stage, it's still just so brilliant. But musical moments that live on in perpetuity, that has to be the one. Mike, give me your pick that is second best to that one now.
Oh yeah, South Park Bigger Longer Uncut. It's
No,
Cartman.
bring on our next guest.
versus Saddam Hussein.
Bring on our next guest.
We got paid.
How you going, Sweetheart?
Doing great. It was my final day of teaching for this like current school year. I work at an all year long school, but we have 2 weeks off, so I'm very excited. But I'm also very excited to talk about my favorite scene in the movie.
Which is what?
Tiptoe a little around spoilers, but if you have seen the movie, you absolutely know why this scene is so great. It is the penthouse finale in Park Chan-wook's Old Boy. Now, have either of you guys seen Old Boy?
Yes.
Not me, but Mike.
I'm going to go. So, in my opinion, Old Boy contains maybe the greatest twist in movie history. It's so good that I refuse to tell anyone on camera, but still, and I'm not going to tell you, Kelly, but if you want to go in completely blind, I recommend everyone mute me while I'm talking about this scene. So essentially, the whole premise of Old Boy is a guy is kidnapped and locked in a hotel room for 15 years. He is given only enough food to essentially survive. He is given a TV so that way he can like keep track of time. But he's stuck there for 15 years, and then one day he is just let go. Like, he is knocked out again. He wakes up on top of the building, and he's essentially given the task to figure out why he was kidnapped and why they essentially let him go. Now, halfway through the movie, the villain literally reveals himself and says, hey, if you're able to figure out within 5 days why I let you go and why I kidnapped you, I will kill myself. If you don't, I'm going to kill this person that is important to you. You don't know why they're important to you, but I will kill them. So we get to the finale of the movie. The character essentially learns, essentially without spoiling, that the main character and the villain have essentially had like kind of a past with each other. They were sort of like passing acquaintances. And there was a point where, all I will say, in this scene, the villain gives the main character a scrapbook and just says, "Open it." And the entire scrapbook, he is just going and seeing how the villain has just completely ruined this main character's life. And watching it for the first time, I was in my house, and it's one of the few times where when the first time the character opens the book and you see the first page, you know exactly what he has done. I literally stood up and was like, "Oh no." Like, the reason I love this movie is because it is so disturbing and so messed up, but the filmmaking makes it so good and so effective, and that is why the penthouse from Old Boy is my favorite movie scene in history.
Mike, did you have a similar reaction to this scene?
Oh yeah, it's a fantastic reveal, and everything about it is great. Yeah, I love Old Boy to death.
Great input, Mike, because I have not seen it, so I cannot have any input. But it sounds, as you sort of said, very disturbing and a good piece of cinema. And anything that makes you have that real visceral reaction to it, and you remember the first time you see it, like I love those sorts of reactions. So, Payson, thank you for coming on and giving us your answer to that, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Yes.
You too.
Mike, that's going to wrap up our episode. But before we head out, I do need to say a very big, sincere thank you to everyone for supporting the video store and our content, especially our new show, Film Coven. On behalf of Melissa and myself, we've just been overwhelmed with the response we've got. So thank you so much. And a big thank you to Melissa for all her hard work. She's an amazing co-host to have. If you haven't checked us out yet, please see our first episode on Sunset Boulevard, but we will be airing new episodes on the off weeks of Late Shift. So catch us with a new episode of Film Coven. Ties into a new release. Let me give you that sneak peek. Ties into a major new release, a new episode, but we've got so many new ideas and women that we want to focus on. So catch us I nearly said Friday 8:30, but instead it came out 5:30. Friday 8:30 EST, new episode of Film Coven goes live. Thank you for everyone who jumped on tonight. Mike, thank you for keeping me company this evening. Anything else you want to say, or did I wrap it up okay?
Yeah, no, you're good. You catch Why We Love Horror trivia next week, and then Why We Love Horror is coming back at the end of the month.
There we go. Take us out. See you next week.
And we're clear.